Yo, this your boy EC22, and this is the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Please like, subscribe, share, but most of all, leave comments, because why? I want you to join this conversation, and we are back. March Madness continues. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what's going on in the world of college basketball, shame on you. I mean, shame on you. But here we are. We're going to just keep on going, man. We still got, another week of this whole madness going on. But you don't want to hear me talk. In the studio, I got with myself Coach D-Wade. What's going on, D-Wade?
What's up, fellas? Man.
And returning guest, we got our boy, the pride of the pack, Simba. What's happening, brother?
Yeah, good to see Simba back, man.
Yeah, glad to be back. Glad to talk some sports to y'all boys.
Yeah, man. Sports, man. Oh, God. March Madness. Man, golly. First of all, I want to do a quick congratulations to Candace Parker and Elena Della Dunn for making the Naismith Men's Basketball Hall of Fame. So congratulations to those women right there. If you know those two names in WNBA, man, outstanding ball players, man, well deserving of it. And congratulations that just came out. Man, Simba, we was here last week and we talked about that second round, all that nonsense and all those teams who didn't act right. Then we get down to the Sweet 16. What have you been watching? Like, just give me an overview of like how you've been feeling about this year's March Madness and this attorney.
I think I've seen a lot of different things as far as some of the teams that are still in the Final Four now, as accustomed to what I thought was going to happen at the beginning of the tournament. I didn't make a bracket or anything, but I kind of had an idea which programs were going to be down in the pack, right in the jungle, right in the Elite Eight. One team that has surprised me is Arizona. I knew they were good, but I didn't know that they would be at this elite level. I think. Listen. I do think that I didn't think they would be at this elite level. I think at some point that they were going to fold. I did think that the whole time, the whole season. I was thinking like at some point. I don't know if they can sustain this level of play throughout the Final Four, and when the elite teams are crunching down and the lanes get smaller and the dribbles get smaller. You can't take 3-4 dribbles. You got to take 1 or 2 dribbles. Like those type of things, I thought that they were going to fold, which they've proven me wrong.
Okay.
UConn has also been a surprise to me. I didn't expect them to go down 18 against Duke the other night. I actually stopped watching the game because I was like, oh, this is over. I'm not going to watch this no more. But they continue to scrap. That's a trend that I've seen the most, honestly, is when it comes down to those possessions that matter the most, a lot of teams are real handsy. The lanes become real small. Like that's something that I've always seen when it comes to like these tight-knit games with teams that are trying to make it really far in the competition. So that's something that I've seen so far. Nothing has been too surprising. I've liked a lot of the one-on-one play that I've seen from a lot of the good players that are going to be high draft picks.
Right. For those of you who are watching right now currently on YouTube, if you may have caught this channel I jumped into your feed. But please stay on, man. Listen, we're talking March Madness, man. If there's a question you want to ask, is an idea you want to pose, if you want to introduce a new topic, man, please, this podcast is for you. For all of you who are watching currently right now, I'm looking at you. I see you guys. Thank you guys for joining. But stay tuned. This podcast is for everybody. We're going to have things we talk about. But if there's anything particular you want to ask or a conversation or just an idea, please put it in the chat section. We'll get to you, man. We'll get you on. All right, Coach D-Wade, what about yourself, man? How you been feeling about this? You know, we talked it last week, but did we really go into details about our emotions? Was this how you predicted this thing would go?
No, I mean, who knew what Illinois, who they are, what they are? Everybody, including you, EC, everybody was telling me that Arizona was the real deal, and I wasn't drinking that Kool-Aid. And I was like Simba. I didn't really, but the team that I've been the most impressed with has been Michigan. Man, they got some horses. Yeah. Now, I think they were pretty fortunate in the draw. I mean, of all the teams that played, Tennessee was probably the weakest of the bunch that was left.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Michigan and Arizona both their margin of victories has been over 20 points a game during this tournament. Simba, did you know that?
Yeah, now they've shown me now.
So so we're down to UConn and Illinois and Michigan and Arizona, and I guess Arizona must be the real deal.
Yeah. And all for you guys that are just joining here again, once again, please leave your comments into the comment section if you want to join this conversation. Just let us know what you're thinking. We're talking about March Madness, man. You've seen it. You ain't been living on the rock, man. Listen, Elite Eight, Sweet 16, first round, second round. Your thoughts on the Final Four, please give your comments into the comment section. But I have to say this for myself. I must be the only smart guy in the room. The reason why you guys did not choose Arizona, why? Because you guys don't subscribe to the Big 12.
There you go.
I've told you guys the Big 12 is the best thing in basketball. And, we're hit and miss here or there. We've seen no Kentucky runs. I mean, not the Kentucky, but the Kansas runs and stuff like that. The OU back in the day with the with the Griffin brothers, man. We've seen this, right? And I'm a Big 12 fan. I knew it.
Oh.
I told D-Wade, when D-Wade picked Florida to go, I said, Florida is going to be the first number 1 seed out of this thing. Last week we talked about Duke. I say the way Duke played Simba in the first round, they may not make it. I said to the Elite Eight, but they made it to the Elite Eight, and then obviously they lost. They didn't make it to the Final Four, and they were the number 1 overall seed. I knew the way they was playing. It just some about them was suspect to me, right? But in my bracket, I had Arizona going all the way, and it's now. I was talking to a group of guys yesterday. A lot of guys, none of the guys never picked Arizona because Duke was the overall favorite. Now it's all shifted. Now Arizona is clearly the number 1 favorite. We still got, 2 more games to play, but we'll see how it pan out. But, I mean, that is what it is. Then the question is, why Arizona? Is it just a Big 12 fan? Yeah, absolutely. That's all I can tell you because I'm a Big 12 fan. I'm like you, Simba. I wasn't doubting Arizona, but it was a hard task to ask when I'm looking at the field of the competition they had in front of them. Did I think they was going to do as well as they did? Like D-Wade said, the point margin? Absolutely not. I thought it was going to get harder for them when they hit the Sweet 16, but, man, listen, they steamrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Steamrolling.
What were you seeing in Duke that made you question their play right now? What were you seeing?
What we all saw the first round. That struggle against Siena, who that was in the first round, that struggle against that team let me know all I needed to know. Because when you're a number 1 overall seed, that first round is supposed to be at least, in my opinion, 20+ margin. And when y'all barely scathed by, I'm like, was that first or second round? I think that was it was first round, and they struggled. And then that at that point, I'm like, this not gonna go far. You can't be a number 1 seed overall and struggle against a team that just barely got in. That just don't make any sense to me. But
and to go and to piggyback off of that, Simba, I'm a big Duke guy. My whole life, I'm a monster Duke guy. And J-Dub's a big North Carolina guy. So we've had that going. But even myself, watching Duke, they haven't been crisp and sharp in the tournament.
Yeah.
And they've been off just enough where you're like, what's going on, And you just can't. And J-Dub and I talked for a while today. You got to be sharp, especially in the Sweet 16, Elite 8. You got to be sharp because if you're not sharp in all aspects, you'll get beat. And Duke's got nobody to blame except themselves.
Yeah. I hate Duke.
I don't know how much of the game you watched.
I think
the Duke UConn game, Simba.
Yeah, I did. I watched the first half, and then I was like, I'm not watching no more. Then I caught like the last like 7 minutes. But I think with Duke, it's kind of they rely too much on that stagnant back down basketball, which doesn't work.
Yep.
Like you just send help, and then what? Like you just spray out to the 3. Everybody's gonna close out and contest. Like it's I like Cameron. Don't get me wrong; he's a good player. But I think relying on that on offense every single possession is so predictable, and it's not a winning formula for like championships, in my opinion.
No, 100%. And Cameron's good. Cameron will be on a roster at the next level. but and this is going to be very controversial. He's not going to be a superstar in the league. He just doesn't. He's a tweener, man. He's not big enough to play the 4 or the 5, and he's not quick enough and have a good enough perimeter game to play the 1 or the 2 or the 3. So he'll be on a roster and he'll play for a few years, but he's no Cooper Flagg.
So here's a fun thought, right? When I was watching the First Take, and then they had this thing about which player can be a standout player in the tournament that can take over the tournament, right? And then they called out names like Darren Peterson, Darius Acuff Jr., right? Obviously, Caden Boozer name was up in there, right? And I started looking at these teams, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's bet. Let's see if they can run it, right? The problem is, Simba, when I'm watching these teams play, that's the only identity. We talked about we crucified Kansas last week, right? Then Darren Peterson's like, that can't be your only answer, right? Then we just watched Darius Acuff Jr. do all he can with Arkansas and just couldn't seem to get. He did his job. Nobody else came to play. We saw a little bit of that from the Boozer kid. But then you look at BYU losing to Texas in the first round, right? DJ by Danster, right? They weren't supposed to lose that game, but nobody really thought they can get past that. Either one of those teams who was going to get there at that first round spot, right? Great kid. All these are top prospects in the NBA, but that's their identity, right? When you start looking at the other teams that's going far, we're here. Like, who would have thought that Pedro Stojakovic kid was balling? I didn't think he was balling like that, but the kid, you find yourself an attorney, right? You're gonna have your star players, but somebody else got to be that Batman. No, forget Batman. Somebody, not Robin to Batman, but I'm talking about Aquaman and the Wonder Woman. Not just as equal. Somebody's got to be, a Superman. They're like, you got to have a dynamic duo. But not one lesser than the other. And that's when the tournament finds out. But when you sit around heavily relying on one player, that don't last long. Even if it's just 1-2 games, man, somebody got to step up. We watched South Carolina last night, how Agat stepped up, and that was a completely, we didn't see that coming, right? Mm-hmm. But now we upsets in the Sweet 16. Your biggest upsets. I mean, we pretty much already know who it is, but I want to hear you say it, Simba. Go ahead and say it.
Biggest upset.
D-Way know who it is.
Go ahead, D-Way.
He know who it is, the biggest upset in the Sweet 16.
I mean, it's got to be Duke.
No, that's Elite 8.
Okay.
Houston,
yeah.
Houston, the biggest upset.
Yeah.
On one of my brackets, I predicted Houston to go all the way. Why? Simply because I'm a Big 12 fan. You know what I'm saying? And me and D-Way, we root so heavily hard for Kelvin Sampson. Oh yeah, look, like Big 12 all the way. I don't care. Make no sense about it. Like I lead with emotions. I'm sorry.
Well, I know, but
no basketball sense whatsoever. But not at all.
You never mentioned much about Texas Tech in any of the conversations we had. So
because we about to kick Texas Tech out the Big 12.
Oh, okay.
In football and basketball.
Oh gosh, literally, not physically.
Yeah, I'm not on that committee, but man, they better not ask me in the FairWeather Fan Podcast. I'll tell them they got to go. You know what I'm saying? They've been letting me down on both ends, man, for a while though, right? But no, man, Houston, man, I don't know how they've gotten there over the years, and they're not a big team. It's like they play well during the season, they do their thing. And then they come to the tourney. They look good in the early rounds, but this one is like that last game in the Sweet 16, man, clearly showed how undersized they were. Yeah. And that was a big issue. And then, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. They was just jacking threes left and right. They was just jacking. I'm like, and they couldn't get it in. But they was relying on floaters. That's how bad they couldn't get to the basket. They're going in clear shot, just get the 5, but no, they're relying on floaters like 5 feet from the basket. That's how bad it was to them trying to get to the inside. That's how scared they was by getting a shot block. And rightfully so, because every time they tried to make a layup, it got sent the other way. You know what I'm saying? So that team is going to have to get some size. I don't know what Kevin Sampson got to do. I know he like his I don't know. And I don't know why they're not recruiting size, right? Because this was the situation the last couple of years. I don't know. All right, the Elite Eight, obviously. Go ahead, Sim.
I'm saying I think Illinois is just playing at a high level. Everybody's playing for each other. Stojakovic, I think last game, if I'm not mistaken, I think he shot like 6 for 8 efficiently. Like
Yeah,
he's taking all good shots. Like it wasn't even threes. Like it was just getting to the basket, mid range, like just playing off his teammates. So I think they could be dangerous, but I fear that it's going to come down to crunch time where you need a one-on-one bucket, and I don't know who's going to give you that. So that's the only thing that I fear for them.
yeah. Who they're playing? They're playing Illinois is playing
UConn.
UConn. Are we sold on UConn?
I'm always sold on UConn.
God,
I feel like they always have a chance. Like they always have a chance to me. Just because no one wants to guard that back screen cutting. Like no one wants to guard that for 40 minutes. Like that's 40 minutes of back screen cutting.
Yeah, I mean they
you have to be so disciplined.
I mean they run that offense precision and they cut you up, man. I mean, just about time you think you got it figured out, they backdoor cut or I watched that offense work late in the second half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Duke is so lost right now, trying to, Simba, trying to keep up with them.
So now that Duke is gone, question to the panel. It ain't no secret what happened, right? I'm going to ask the rhetorical question. How does a number one overall team lose an Elite Eight? And we talked about identity, right? But there's got to be more to it than that. Like how did this Duke team get here? Being selected as the number one overall.
Well, I mean, were they number one quality? Yeah, but I mean, it's not really fair because UConn was number 2 seed, so it's not like a 6 or a 7 seed beat them, But Duke deserved the number 1 seed because they had a really good season. But I mean, I'm kind of like Simba. I mean, most of their point, they didn't really run an offense, where they're picking and rolling and screening and moving and cutting. It was all kind of give it to Cameron Boozer and let him kind of back you down until he gets ready to shoot over you and stuff. And you can only get against a good team, a well-coached team. I mean, that can only get you so far. And we all know UConn's a good, well-coached team. And having said all that, Samba, having said everything I just said, Duke still should have won the game. Okay. all they got to do is the other Boozer kid. All you got to do is drive the ball, and they have to foul you. They have to because they're down 2.
The one big thing, Simba, that I see, and it's every year in come down to March Match, every year when it come down to picking out of brackets, everybody know that there's going to be some type of upset. The Cinderella stories that we hear about, right? And if every year we're predicting this, then how we get to this point, that means we're selecting seeds wrong. The seeding is wrong. If every year we know, that's the winning the whole thing or trying to have a perfect bracket, like that's cute and everything like that. But predicting those Cinderella teams, predicting those upsets, that's where the big money comes in. If you're into the gambling, right? But if there's always that question mark, then are we seeding these teams wrong?
I mean, the seeding is based off record, no?
Yeah, I guess so. I thought it was based. Yeah,
because you start. It's just kind of hard to go against a team that's 36-2. Like, how can you not put them as a number 1 seed? I feel like at that point it's like you kind of have to put them as a number 1. You can't put a team that's 25-10 on at that same level, and clearly like the records and they've lost to teams that maybe that they shouldn't have lost to. That all plays a factor, I think. But with Duke, I think obviously the things that worked during the regular season didn't work when it came down to those moments when I said that you need a basket and the defense gets handsier. They let fouls go. They're letting hand checks go. Like they're letting things like that go because you're playing at the highest level of basketball for where you're at.
Yeah.
So I think with Duke, like again with Duke, if you're just going to run a pick and roll with Cameron Boozer and let him come off, and the defense knows he's not going to pull up,
Right.
like what options do you have out of like how many options can you make out of the skill set that he has? Like you can just back him down. You can do like there's not much. Like if they send somebody else over the top of the initial defender and they could just block it, like he's forced to be a passer and he's not effective. So I think that's more so what goes into the seeding. It's not so much the team and how good they are. I think it's the season that they had before that.
Okay, I'm not going. I mean, that was your answer. I see, because in football, I know we're not talking football, and I don't want to move the goalpost, but I have to say it in football, I always get jumped on about the seeding or the ranking based on strength of schedules, right? And so you look at some of those teams, like from the Big 12 and from the SEC, that have some stellar teams in there, and they're constantly playing each other, right? And they're not like football, so where they can avoid each other. In basketball, you're going to play them once you get into a conference play, right? So you're seeing these teams, but you look at, other conferences that don't have, a whole lot in their conference, and then you end up having a great record once you get to conference play, and then all of a sudden you get found out in the tourney. That's what I'm thinking about. Like, okay, I don't know. I mean, obviously the Power 4 or the Power 5 schools are going to always be up in there, right? And I guess that's the way they look at it. But I mean, like there are some teams in the tournament that I thought was ranked too high. I'm not going to talk about the number 1 teams, right? But some of those 3 and 4 schools, I'm like, I don't know how they got that far. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He mentioned Dulac because the states got too big for the freshman starters. Exactly.
Yeah. And we touched on this last week, in the Kansas game, how Kansas lost.
Yeah.
The thing that really makes me crazy this time of the year is if you get beat by a better team, but if you beat yourself or you do a bonehead something like the pass that the other Boozer kid made, he didn't make the pass over the defenders, and then Kansas last week not stopping the penetration. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
I mean, those little small elementary fundamental things. You lose on that kind of stuff. I mean, I want to go, jump off a bridge. I mean, it's unacceptable. There's no excuse for it. I mean, Duke ought to be sick.
Yeah, they are right now the shame of men's basketball. Duke Blue Devils. Yeah. Coach K is probably got a fifth of alcohol to his dome right now. What y'all did. It's one thing to have a close game and lose on a buzzer beater, but to have the game won. The crazy part is, Simba, you wasn't the only person that turned that game off. I bet that TV ratings went straight down because everybody assumed the same thing. And everybody got a crazy surprise when they woke up the next morning. What the?
They're up by 2, and they have the ball, and all they got to do is get it across half court or draw a foul. Also, I think Caden Boozer needs one more year in college. Cameron can play at the next level. Yeah, and you came on late, Z-Man. I'm not convinced that Cameron's ready for the next level, but he can make a
well, he was talking about the twin brothers. So Cameron,
yeah.
So you don't think Cameron is ready for the next level?
I think Cameron can make a roster, but he's not going to be a superstar player at the next level. I'm just telling you.
I mean, neither was his daddy. So
exactly.
I mean, it's geez. I mean, he'll look good for the first couple of years. He got his daddy's blood in him. He'll just be a role player.
His dad was a big, thick, heavy banger that could play the 4 and the 5. Cameron can't play the 4 or the 5. He's not big enough or strong enough, and he can't play the 1 or 2 or 3 because he didn't have the perimeter game. So I don't know what you do with that.
Do you agree with that, Simba, Cameron? Yes, sir.
I do, but I do agree with that because I even said it's funny that he's saying that because I actually said that yesterday to my friend. I was like, he's too small to play big because you have to think about all the starting 5s in the NBA. Rudy Gobert.
Facts.
Who else do you have? All those guys. You think he's backing down Rudy Gobert? Like that's not happening. And then he's not lining up with Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard or any of these other wings that he would have to line up with. So
Right.
I definitely agree
So
with
true.
him. Bro. Like, it's just hard to put him somewhere. I think he'll end up, in my opinion. I said this yesterday also. Like, I think he's going to be a backup big man in the NBA. He's going to be one of those guys who screens hard, plays defense, take those charges. He's a bruiser, like kind of like how his dad was. I think he's going to be
Right.
just
Yeah.
like that, unless he
Facts.
develops skills that fit today's game, like being able to shoot, being able to be a good passer, being able to pick and roll, like those type of things that make his role expand in the NBA. But EC, how
I
much
would
do you
love.
think?
Go
How
ahead.
much do you think strength of like the scheduling and matchups? How much do you think plays a factor into the upsets that we see? Because I know a lot of teams sometimes they might just match up bad with the team. That's why they lose. So how much do you think that plays a factor in these upsets that you see?
I think it plays a lot because, like I said, if you're winning your conference and you come out and you win your conference championship, but your conference, you ran through it, right? That don't apply to UConn's women because they're a different breed. Traditionally, if you're in a weak conference, you're not really playing. Then when you come down and play some of these other conferences, you know what I'm saying, that are battle tested because they have to play each other, I think that's where you see a lot of upsets, right? Because sometimes we see just some. Now there are some teams who get lucky, who had a low conference team, right? And I think what happened with those upset is that other teams are presumptuous, right? They come out, oh, this team is from, you know what I'm saying, mid, I don't know, Carolina conference, whatever kind of low conference. And they make the tournament. They're probably at a 15 seed or something like that. And then people come in and they come in a presumption. They think they're gonna run over them, and then they surprise them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that dog in them. Like we talked about last week, that ticker, that heart, right?
Mhm.
And then they can catch. Those are the Cinderella stories, like the ones just like who refused to be beat. Nobody told them that they were the lesser seed, right? But a lot of the upsets that we see it just come from just, some teams are just overhyped and overseeded, in my opinion, right?
Mhm.
Duke was one of those teams. We watched them play, right? I thought St. John's. Not St. John, but I didn't think they were the best team in their conference, right? Record says a lot. Record put people there, right? But just watching them play, everything you just said, the way Boozer play, I'm like, this can only last so long, right? And it did, right? But I hate Duke. So, my opinion can be biased. I just want to make sure I say that every 5 seconds. Duke is trash. The Blue Devils are trash, and I'm glad they stunk it up this year to prove my point. But I love the players. I really do love Cameron Boozer. I love his brother Caden. I think Cameron can translate his game to the league. I think with his athleticism, maybe he can be like another Andre Iguodala type of guy. You know what I'm saying? That guy who's small, but figure it out to play defense on bigger guys, right? I don't have to be 6'10", 6'11" to guard. I just have to be strong as all outdoors. You know what I'm saying? And to guard those guys, right? Because we know these big men don't want to bang any goddamn way. They want to shoot threes. So it ain't like that's a hard ass, right? All I have to do is get in the gym and pump some weight. And like, you know what? I'm gonna force you. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it done before, right? So, and then be that corner 3-man guy like that, because he holds those positions that we don't value too much in the NBA, and that's those slashers. That's the guy who will take it to the paint, right? Nobody wants to do that no more, right? And it can be easy because all the big men are out. If they out playing around the top, he can get past them. You know what I'm saying? Pull them on out. I hope that's what happened because I'm rooting for him. Now, Caden, yeah, he'd probably be playing in Turkey somewhere before South Stadium.
Spain or something,
So yeah. I mean, but you know what? I love his IQ at the point guard. I really love his IQ at the point guard. But we don't need another Rajon Rondo. This league has evolved from that. We need scoring point guards in the league. And him just being a guy who's gonna pass the ball, it ain't gonna work. Yeah. Well, Simba, man, we about to jump to the women's, man, brother. I thank you for jumping on, man, real quick. But before we let you go, your prediction: Illinois versus UConn. Who you got?
I got UConn, of course.
And tell me why. Because right now, the Vegas says that you a lie.
I think I just trust their system a little bit more. Like, I have more stock into what they've built. Obviously, their coach is one of the best ever. So I can trust that more than I could trust something that doesn't go to the Final Four often. And I know I'm about to hop off, but I'll say this about the women's. I think in the Elite Eight games, I think all the best players on the teams that won, they all played good. And I think that was a major factor into why they like Booker, amazing. UCLA, same thing. Like all the best players played well. So I think that's something to say about moving forward with the women's.
I like that. Now, last game, Michigan versus Arizona. But hey, choose your answer wisely.
I'll go with Arizona on this one.
There we go. Boy, I tell you, man. And I did not there was no threat. He chose on his own.
Hey, you know Simba's going AZ all the way on that deal. So yeah.
Hey, Simba, man, it's been great having you on, man. Once again, the platform is always up to you. I know you got your life is life and over there, but brother, whenever you want to come on, give us a call, man. We'll put you on the spot.
Sir, I appreciate y'all for having me. I'll definitely be tuning in for this show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, brother.
Good seeing you, Simba, man. Give that sweet little angel Emery a big hug for us, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We'll talk soon. Okay, all right, buddy.
All right, take care, brother. D-Way.
There was two.
What's going on? It's just you and I. We in this thing right now. Listen. All right, let's go to the women's side, man. Oh, my God. What can I say about this women's bracket, man? It's so funny.
Well, first thing you can say is that all four teams left are 1 seeds. So you'll be happy to hear that.
So because that happened, I have to break down the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, right? I got to go back and give a quick overview of what happened in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. And Simba just talked about it. He said about all the superstars or the star players in the Elite 8, they stepped up and played. But here's my rundown about what happened to the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Those teams just they lost because they were supposed to lose.
Right.
The women's has not been unpredictable. Everything that was supposed to happen happened. The only team that shocked me that they went to the Elite Eight was TCU. I didn't expect, not TCU, but yeah, TCU. Not TCU, Notre Dame. I didn't think Hannah Hidalgo can get her team all the way to the spot they got them in, but she did. She got them to the Elite Eight, and then of course the rest was history right there. But D-Way, you said it. All number 1 teams in there. But I want you to talk about this, D-Way. It's not that they got there. But they shown you, me, and the rest of the world that they're so much better than any other team that's in this tourney. So much better.
Yeah, so I'm going to hit a nerve with you here, so just bear with me. You know, the women's collegiate basketball is phenomenal, and it's gotten better. It's gotten incredibly better every year. But we still don't have a big enough group of players. Most of the players, if you're a really good women's high school basketball player, you and I can name 6 schools. You're going to play for one of those 6 schools and nobody else. You know, and as a result, the 6 schools that pretty much are always fighting for it every year. As the women's sport continues to grow, and it will, and it already is, and we're watching it grow right in front of us.
Yeah.
As it continues to grow and more money's out there and available, that top 6 teams is going to turn into, 10 or 12 teams.
Yeah.
But right now, big guy, you and I, before the season started, we could have said it's going to be the Final Four is going to be one of these 6 teams.
Right. So,
go ahead.
Oh Lord, I hate when this thing do that.
And I'm still enjoying watching the women's more than I am the men because they're playing basketball.
Absolutely. I will say this. So everything you said, it is spot on, right? When it comes down to talent. The thing about the women's is that I do believe there's the talent is spread out, right? It just certain teams get more of them than others. You know.
Well, it's those top 4 or 5 teams.
Right. Those top 4
year.
or 5 teams.
Yeah.
I did not expect TCU to go this far. Well, to do this good, right? But obviously Haley Van Lift goes, and then you add in Olivia Miles and stuff like that. And I think she was able to do what Haley couldn't do, and she got her team better. Obviously she's one and done. So, you know, we're going to see how TCU bounce back, right? When you start looking at some of the other teams that got there and then it quite didn't have the energy to finish, they got some dogs. They got some real good players, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just, they don't have enough of them. You know what I'm saying? When you start looking at South Carolina, man, with all the pieces they got, you talking about with Joyce Edwards and the Tyler Lawson, you know what I'm saying, and all them other girls. Then you looking at
a Johnson girl
and Johnson, yeah. Then you start looking at a Cott and a Gott, you know what I'm saying, those two big girls, right, who don't always get it going, but when they do, they're unstoppable, right, on both ends of the floor. It's like, that's a lot. You know, and get me starting on UConn with Sarah Strong, Azzy Fudd, and all their supporting cast, and then, you know, God, dog, man, you can't talk about Texas without talking about Jordan Lee and Madison Booker and who Coach Gino said is the best point guard, period. With Rory Harmon, their point guard, right? She can score, but she's not a scorer. She got eyes in the back of her head, man. She sees it happen, and so that's why they're dominant. But I'm like you, coaching. We've seen in this tournament where coaches who lost to one of those 4 teams complain about officiating. The last was Oklahoma's coach, who got upset because she felt like, now this same Oklahoma team that beat that South Carolina team in the regular season had the audacity to come out and talk about how they felt that the officiating was already geared towards South Carolina. Yeah. And she felt like the game shouldn't have been as physical as it could have been, right? And I'm sitting there like, Coach, I appreciate you, but you need to take a look at your roster. Aaliyah Chavez is great. She's a freshman, but she's your leading scorer. She's going to have to figure out and take better shots. You give her the green light to shoot. I think you need to calm her down a little bit because she can shoot like nobody's business, but in game, and that's your score, like that's the reason why y'all lost. And so you can't blame on, but that comes down to coaching and coaching perspective. I'm looking at Kim Mulkey and how LSU lost, right? A game they could have won. You know, your star player, and I love her to death, but your star player who's jumping around high, just bringing all the energy. Where was she at on defense? She got cooked on defense in last play. That's your defensive play to make, to block the shot or to alter the shot, and you fail. That's coaching, getting prepared. Now, coaches can't go out there and play, but that's some things you got to say on the sideline. Calm heck down. All that scoring you do, all those rap albums you got, I need you to put all that aside and play defense, you know what I'm saying, for 2.6 seconds. That's what I need you to do.
And we just touched on that in the men's. We just touched on how they're losing.
Yeah.
You know, just one play, one key play that costs you the game. And that makes a guy like you and I, who are students of the game, who love the game, it makes us crazy. Did you get a chance to catch any of the post-game interview with Coach Don Staley last night?
No, because I was somewhere, and once the game over, I had to leave and go home. But enlighten me.
And you talking about coaching? First of all, I mean, if you open up Webster's dictionary and you open it up and you go to the C's and you look for the word class, there's a picture of Don Staley.
Say less, facts.
Okay, and she said this was a special group of girls because a lot of them, this was they transferred in.
Yeah.
And she said for them to come together, and she was being very modest and very humble. What I wanted to say to the world is Coach Staley brought that group in. A bunch of those girls had never even been in that program. Got them to buy in, coached the fire up out of them, coached them up.
Yeah.
And got those girls to be clicking and understand their roles. Hey, they are loaded for bear.
And it's crazy because you say that when you start looking at the South Carolina Gamecocks, right, and who they have on their squad, your best player is Joyce Edwards. Right? She's a sophomore? And the girl can ball. But that all what they do has to do with talent development.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does. Dawn Staley is phenomenal at developing the talent that she has. I remember one year when they won the last time they won a championship, she came out there and told the world after they won a championship, she said two things. She said, this is uncommon favor that they won. And she said, because it's one thing to win, but with these women, these particular young women, and like you said, she could have said, man, you know, I'm the best coach in the whole world. That's the reason why we won. But she knows, like, you know, to get people to buy in to her system. Yeah. That's phenomenal, right? To bring a winning attitude, right? But I'm gonna tell you how crazy and how better these teams are than everybody. When you starting with UConn, their first team they played in the first round, beat them by 38. Okay. The second team they beat them by 53.
Okay.
The next team they beat them by 21, and then the team game we just saw in the Elite Eight, they beat them by 18. That's an average of 32 points, D-Way.
No.
South Carolina. First game, they beat them by 69. Second game, beat them by 40. The Sweet 16, they beat them by 26. Elite 8, they beat them by 26. Average of 40 points. UCLA, first game, round 1, beat them by 53. Second round, 24. Sweet 16 by 12. Elite 8 by 19. A round total of average of 27 points. And finally, Texas, first game, for round 1, 42-point spread. Second game, 42 spread. Sweet 16, 22. And Elite 8, 38. 35.2 points average. Yep. That's how much better. Yeah. The TCUs, the LSUs, Kara Lawson and the Duke, and I love Kara Lawson, but she scares me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All these you know what I'm saying? Watch all these teams get up there. Michigan getting up there, man. Michigan getting up there and losing stuff. Like all these teams that came out there to play. Man, listen. It was all but inevitable. It was inevitable that you guys weren't going to pass the Elite Eight.
No, the 4 number 1 seeds, they're on a whole different planet.
Yeah.
They're playing a whole nother level of hoop, you know?
Now, I got to ask this question, D-Way, because, you know, I don't believe UConn women are the best team in this tournament. I don't believe it for 1 second.
I was so hoping that you were going to say that. I was so hoping that you were going to say that. If I'm wrong, I'm going to apologize to the world next week. But I got South Carolina winning it all.
I got Texas winning.
You got Texas winning it all, yeah.
Either way, it's SEC team. So, but I will say this. Right? If somehow UConn, after 32-point spread throughout this whole tournament, playing in the Big East with no competition, could turn around and knock off potentially 2 SEC teams, then I'm a believer. Yeah. Then there's something in the water.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna totally do one of these right here to Gino if he pulls it off this year.
Yeah, because they about to face the hardest level of talent. I mean, you talking about you beating teams down by an average of 32 points in this whole tournament, and now here you are, you about to play a Texas team who's been blowing folks out by 35, and a South Carolina team who's been beating folks out by 40, after have to beat up on each other in the regular season in that hard SEC conference. Yeah. This gonna be tough. That Texas defense is stellar.
Yeah, and I feel like that.
Stellar.
I feel like that now that we're where we are, the top 4, the best 4. Good evening, Lou.
What up, Lou?
Now that we are where we are, I'm going to choose my words carefully here, and I want to hear your comment on it. I don't know how much of a factor that Lauren Betts is going to be. because of where we are now.
Lauren Betts, her game for me.
We'll see how much of a factor that she's going to be, because I don't know if she's going to be that big of a factor.
No, her game to me, watching her throughout the tournament, showed me some holes. I like the size. I like the footwork. Well, I used to like the footwork. I don't know if there's something going on, but this tournament, I haven't seen a lot of major footwork from her. Obviously, when you're women, if you're taller, you just take the ball and just use your body and size and make layups, right? Because these women, they're not jumping over the rim or anything like that, right? But however, when you play a team like Texas, who plays defense by committee, we're gonna see how well Lauren Betts hold up against Texas.
Because my problem with it is, and I like Lauren, and I think she'll be a good somebody good to watch next year in the WNBA. Is number one the speed of the game now. These other three teams. Yeah, the speed of the game, and the thing that even if you take that EC, and you add how physical and how nasty. Now they're all dogs now.
Yeah. Facts.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Physical, and they play with an incredible pace of speed. So I don't know how Lauren's going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't either. I ain't scared because I'm rooting for Texas anyway. So right. But it's so funny because as much as I've been here lately, been critical of Lauren Betts and her post play, I do. It's funny because her style of play and her size will translate to the W. When you start looking at people like tall people like who's Dominique Malonga, you know what I'm saying? Maddie, not Maddie, but Maglagor from Seattle, right? When you start looking at our girl in the Lakers,
Cameron Brink.
You look at Cameron Brink. You look at Ray Burrell. You look at I see her face. Derica Hamby.
Okay.
You look at those girls like that, right? Big, not too big post players, but the girl Ezra Stevenson. That's the one I'm talking about, right? Right. Big girls like that who are not as physical in the paint, right? When I look at Ray Burrell have energy, but she's just small. Right. We look at Cameron Brink. Cameron Brink has a lot of finesse, but she's small. You know what I'm saying?
But frame-wise,
Lauren Betts when you look at people like Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner is older. She's soaking up this new money, right? She's not gonna give you a lot of minutes because she got miles on her body, right? But whenever she get in the game, she's still unstoppable.
Right.
She's still gonna back you down. And it looks easy for her, right?
Well,
if Lauren brings that energy, she's gonna be tough cookie. And then she get to play with some of these top point guards. That's gonna be the crazy part.
So we'll see. Well, I'll be curious to see it. I'm gonna be able to see this next weekend when she plays. How she's gonna be to keep up with the speed of the game, because that's what she's gonna be doing every night next year.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, look, they don't get no breaks. Soon as this over with, they go right into the draft.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. So it'll be curious to see. And I'm a fan of hers. I like Lauren. She's been good for the game. So, but
so let's look. So before we go to our final four picks, let's do this real quick. So right now, Azzi Fudd is projected to go number 1. We talked about this before. Can her and Paige coincide being what some consider an item? I don't know. Do you think they can work well together, being a couple?
That's a whole different dynamic that we've never seen. We've never seen before. But let me stop right there. I'm very, very interested to see how Azzi, is that how you say her first name?
Yeah, Azzi. Yeah.
How she's going to be able to match up the greats that are playing in that. I think she's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
I think she's a really good college player. I'm really going to be interested to see if she's really going to play at the next level that she's been playing at this last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's my problem with her going to the Dallas Wings, because once again, Dallas' issue was needing a big. when you got Iowa Fawn from Spain sitting out there, I think that's their best choice. But it all depends on because if Rika Gumawale and Paige Beckers re-sign with the Wings, then you don't need a guard.
No, you don't.
So you got to go get the kid from the young lady from Spain, and I'm gonna tell you right, she got some footwork.
Yeah, you said it, and J-Dub said it. So yeah.
And so, but if Arika choose not to sign with them, then having a complimentary guard, cool, but they're gonna have to maybe look for another big in the draft, or maybe or go it because 80% of these women are not on contract. So Dallas Wings, I would love to see how they're gonna handle free agency because they need to solve their big. You got a point guard, you need to solve your big if this Azzy Fudd prediction is gonna make sense. And then you're looking at Iowa Fun projected to go to Minnesota. Now that's gonna take Nafisa Kalla out of the post. Well, out of the center position.
And it needs to.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be in there.
Yeah. I would love to see Azzy Fudd go over there to Minnesota. I would love to see the two swap. Olivia Miles is scared to go is right now is going to Seattle. I don't like that one bit.
I'm telling you, I know you're drinking the Olivia Kool-Aid. She's another one that won't be able to play. Be an impact player at the next level. I'm just telling you. Yeah.
I think so Paige Beckers showed because we didn't think she could play right. Paige Beckers showed us that these, like J-Dub said, under 6 feet or right at 6 feet, 6'1" and below guards can really, really play. Right?
Yeah.
Olivia Miles,
she's
a 5'10" guard. It's still left to be seen, but I think her IQ as a guard was going to save her. I think the fact that you got to stay in front of her because she can shoot, right? The speed of the game is another one too, right? That's what's translating with these younger, smaller guards because we see how Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark run that flow. That's something we haven't seen in W since the Katie Douglases and the Poindexter, you know what I'm saying? Cabby Poindexters and the great girl out of Houston.
I got Olivia. It's just me. I got her in the same kind of model as I do Haley Van Leef. Haley's got more dog in her, though.
What Haley Van Leef showed me last year in the W is that she wasn't ready for the moment.
A little undersized.
But she has to be ready for the moment, right? Especially considering the team that she went to, who they needed a guard. Right? In Chicago, they needed a guard, and you did not fill that spot. Like they got two bigs down there, right? Mm-hmm. They needed somebody, especially when their point guard went out.
So are you saying you think Olivia's going to go in the draft before Lauren Betts goes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that. That's what the mock's saying. I don't agree with that. I thought Lauren Betts should have been number one because I want her to go to the – I mean, if I had to choose between Lauren Betts and Iowa Fun, I'm going with Lauren Betts all today, but right now, Lauren Betts is going to, well, according to the mock draft, to Washington Mystics. And that's so unfair.
What pick do they get?
4. And that's so unfair. That's so unfair. That's just so unfair for her to go.
Why do you say that?
Because you got Kiki Irifin and you got Sonia Citro. This like how y'all gonna build a super team in Washington? This sucks. They got so lucky. Our girl Flo J. Johnson from LSU, the rapper, phenomenal hooper, man, is going to the mock draft. Is scheduled to go to the Chicago Sky.
Is that where Angel is?
That's where Angel is. That's where Camille Cardozo is. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because their point guard right now, she need to be a backup. I think Flo J and Asia, and I think because they used to be teammates at LSU, right? And so I think Flo J was a senior there. They've been working well with each other on the U.S. Olympic team, so they already got chemistry. So her going there, that's going to be a phenomenal. Right? I'm not going to say they're going to turn around in 1 year like Caitlin did in Indiana, but I think they'll be in the hunt, right? Okay. And then I'm just going down this list. I don't see any big names. Medina Agat, the girl from the center from South Carolina, is scheduled to go play with Caitlin Clark.
Wow.
That ain't happening because Aaliyah Boston ain't giving up her position.
Well, Aaliyah can play the 4.
Man, Aaliyah is a post player.
Okay.
She will get in and she's going to, because Because Medina, man, like we were saying last night, man, she's a good post rebounder, shot blocker, but she ain't no Leah Boston. She ain't got no footwork. She's a girl who catch the ball and just use her height to get back up. But Leah is the back it down beast. She's mid-range, 3-point. It's gonna be hard. But she can be a trade piece for some teams who may need a big. And then Ashlyn Jackson is going to. That's so unfair. Kiki Rice, the girl from UCLA. Yeah. I don't know why she fell this far in the draft in the second round, but she's, no, this is still first round. She's still first round. She's going to the Connecticut Suns. The Connecticut Suns has moved the team or trying to move the team to Houston.
I hope that happens.
I hope it happens too, right?
Houston can support that.
Right. But Lou asked a question. He said, do we really think Arika will return to the Dallas wing knowing that Paige is the premier option? I don't think she will. I think there are other teams out there that's going to offer more money than what Dallas is, because with all this new collect CBA and stuff like that, I think there's another team that's going to offer more money. I don't think they didn't look happy together last year. Did you think, D-Way?
No, it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird energy.
Yeah.
Tanaya Lotson, another South Carolina, is going to Atlanta Dreams with Ryan Howard and all them girls over there, and Alicia Gray. Ooh-wee. And it look like Seattle get another first round. They getting Marty Suarez, the chick from TCU.
Suarez.
Yeah, she cold.
Yeah, she'll be able to play.
Yeah.
Hey, the girl. How about the senior? The girl from Kentucky that I thought was a pretty good player. Is she on the radar?
I believe she's on the radar, but she didn't make the first round.
Okay.
And so that's let's see what that's all they have for the first round. And then what ended up it was a Gabrielle Jacquez, another chick from UCLA. She's a 6-foot guard that's going to Houston if they make the deal, right? So man, there's some names I'm not seeing. There's some that's some crazy, but we'll see how it all pan out, man. But I'm looking at those top fives. Those top five have potential to turn their organization around.
They've got Olivia at what number? 3, 4, or 5?
At 3.
That's hogwash. No, I ain't playing that game. I'm not playing that game. No. I know you love that word.
I ain't gonna fight you on that, man. Hey, let's get down to predictions. So who you got? Texas and UCLA. Who you got, D-Way?
I'm going to
hook them all day. Hook them arms. I got them, man.
Got my girls in Austin, Madison Booker and company.
Yeah, and Azzy Fudd, Sarah Strong versus Jordan Lee and Madison Booker. I'm not wrong teams. I'm sorry. Azzy Fudd, Jordan Lee versus Natalia Lotson versus Joyce Edwards. The South Carolina Gamecock versus the UConn Huskies.
How good is that game going to be?
It's
my gosh.
Somebody going to cry. We know that. They're going to cry, but this is going to be, man. This is the finals, right? Well, no, because Texas. This is going to be hard.
Okay, I'm going there. I'm pushing all my chips in on Coach Don Staley.
Facts. I got that. Oh,
how about you? I can't hear you, EC. I can't hear you. Can't hear you, EC. I can't hear you. Let it go. Let it loose sound. I can't hear anything you're saying. Go ahead. Stick it in there. That's funny. You got a backup plan? No.
Can you hear me?
Yes. No.
There we go. Up, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I bet. I don't know this thing.
I didn't mean to get y'all excited.
You got me excited, and I just started throwing stuff around.
I'm pushing all my chips in on Coach Don.
And for the fight, so we're gonna do that. Well, it's gonna be ending before we come back on the show. So overall, who you got winning it all? You said you got South Carolina. I got Texas. We was we see how it's gonna happen, man. But that's all our time for today, Coach. Final words for the people.
Well, in the men's, I've got Arizona beating Michigan, and I've got I don't know why I'm going to say this, but I got Illinois beating UConn. So I've got Illinois and Arizona, and I've got Arizona winning the whole thing. Who do you got in the men's winning the whole thing? Arizona? He said, give me a minute. I can't wait for you to get over on Lou's
There you go.
show.
Can you hear me now?
Lou's going to be giving you a hard time. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, I said I got Arizona. Corey, what up? Go blue. Go blue. Which blue you talking about?
He's talking about Michigan.
Okay, that's the blue he talking about, Michigan. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all got to be said.
What coach not my Michigan getting beat? But coach got my Michigan getting beat. Sorry,
I got him
Corey.
too, man. They got to play against Arizona, man. You know, I know you Michigan, but I'm Big 12, so that's just the way it's got to go. But I do agree with Illinois beating UConn. I just think they're better. You know, I think UConn got lucky to beat Duke. It was Duke's game to lose, not UConn's to win. And so
right.
I think Illinois, man, they caught fire right at the last minute, man. Yeah. No.
No. And final thoughts, man. Shout out to our boy that's going to be back with us next Tuesday in the beautiful state of Great Falls, Montana. J-Dub, happy birthday, happy belated birthday to J-Dub this past weekend, and sending our love and everything up to Montana, the Big Sky country, and looking forward to having him back. So EC, love you, man. Awesome show. Your final thoughts.
It's our guy, our favorite golfer, Tiger Woods, is falling from grace. And I hope he get the help he need. He decided not too long ago to step away, which we haven't really seen him anyway, but he's been out there doing his thing, getting on some of these lower tournaments, stuff like that. He decided to step away. Obviously, if y'all wasn't been on the rock, he got into a car wreck accident, DUI type situation. You know, we've known him to do this before, especially during the time him and his wife was going to it. He had to go into rehab for sex addiction and all this other stuff, and then as well as alcoholism. Now it seems like he's back to his old ways, and we just hope that Tiger get the help you need, brother. We're praying for you. Don't let your legacy die, and we're not going to let it die.
Right.
What you did, you know what I'm saying, out there on the grid, you know, is phenomenal. We're not going to let anybody, at least not here on the FairWeather Fan Podcast, take away your greatness and what you mean to us all in the golfing world. Yeah. But, brother, get some help. Get some help. D-Way, I know, Coach, you give me some words for our brother Tiger. You know, I know you had to fight off.
It's called a chauffeur. It's not a designated driver. It's a chauffeur. You got more money than Moses and Abraham put together. Get you a chauffeur, a guy that can take you to and from, and you can act a fool if you need to, but you can't. I mean, life's too short, man. And you and Sir Jack Nicklaus are the faces of golf.
Y'all, I thought Coach, you know, because y'all don't know, man, me and Coach, man, that's my brother in the Lord. I just knew Coach was about to come with some, hey, man, we're praying for your brother, and Jesus, you'll get your life right to him, and all things will work out, and maybe throw a couple scriptures in there. That joker said, get a chauffeur. Straight to the point.
I mean, Tiger, man, your name and your legacy and what you've done and what you're doing for the game still. Yeah. Come on, bud. You're better than that. You're better than that. Fix
it. And to everybody who's joined in, man, we thank Simba for coming on, man. Obviously, our boy J-Dub up in Great Falls, man. We can't wait to have you back. Lou, thank you for joining in. Corey, man, it's always a pleasure to have you, brother, man. Hey, Corey, I don't know what the time zones up there is where you at, man, but listen, if you ever want to join this thing live, man, we will be happy to see the link.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
So we can just link up that way, man, and get on and just get your 2 cents about this thing, man. Z-Man, thank you for lending your son for a little while, for jumping on. And to all my brothers, man, who you normally watch the show, who probably watch the show but didn't leave any comments, man, you guys know who you are. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. Continue hanging out with us, man. But right now, this your boy EC22 along with Coach D-Way signing off on FairWeather Fan Channel. Remember, we'll be back next Tuesday, 6 o'clock p.m. here right here on Facebook as well as YouTube. And you can catch some of our little reels, whatever, on TikTok. But right now, myself, Coach D-Way, we are out. And that's a wrap.
That's a